Welcome back to the studio, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Throwback Thursday. So, if you are new here, Throwback Thursday is where I pull out my retired stash, or in this case, with what I'm going to use. Technically, it's going to be retired, and then it's still available at a discount, actually. And yeah, once it's gone, it is gone. So, retired stuff, things that may have retired a while back or just recently, I pull that out and I create two projects with it. What I am using this week is the Around It All bundle. This was part of the online exclusives. Actually, that now it's still online. It's in the last chance list. So, like I mentioned, these are still available as of, well, I'm actually recording this on Monday the 28th, but by the time you see it, when it's scheduled, it will be 5 a.m. Central on Thursday. I believe Thursday is the 31st. And so let me give you those details on this. So, if you were to purchase this as the bundle, so there's one item number as the bundle, you would get that 10% bundle savings when you would get it. So, one item number, you would get the stamp set and the set of dies, and the cost of that would be $49.50 here in the US. Right now, because it is on the last chance, they have marked down both the stamp set and the dies. So the stamp set itself, originally by itself, is $21. Right now, it has been marked down to $14.70. And then the rounded all dies. The regular price on these was $34. Right now, marked down to $23.80 here in the US. Now, what's really cool about these dies, I mean, these are very versatile. You can use these like on anything. If you want to do like some really cool, whimsical type of cards, you do have like these wonky looking circles, which I think are just like, they're really neat. And you can see there's one really large one here. So I think these are a nice fun set of dies. I was a little late in getting this. I ended up purchasing this like, separately, actually, because the sale price on this, or the markdown price, has been on here for a little bit. So yeah, this, I mean, I was a little late in getting it, but I did get it, and I did have fun playing with it, creating the projects for you in this video. So again, if like I said, at the time that I'm filming this, this is Monday, July 28th. It is still available, and it is the individual pieces, they are discounted. So if this is something that you want, be sure to put in the individual item numbers for each of these items rather than putting in the one number for the bundle, because you are definitely going to save quite a bit. So what is it, like 37, $38 if you purchase these separately, as opposed to the 49.50 if you get it as the bundle. So hopefully, I don't see that these are on low inventory at this moment. So hopefully when you watch this video, if it's something that you want, it's still going to be out there. There are links in the description for all the products that I'll be using, in this video. I believe that everything that I am using, yeah, everything pretty much, let me see, I'm checking. Well, there's actually two colors of Stampin' Blends that are retired. They're no longer available, but everything else, is still available. And again, those colors that I'm using of Stampin' Blends that have retired now, I mean, you can always substitute them. Maybe you have the colors, and if you don't, you can substitute it with another color. So let me go and put this aside, and let me bring the video back up so I can see what's going on. I do want to make mention now. I don't know if this is going to happen or not because I do have my laptop sitting here. It is muted. But one of the things that now has happened 2 Friday nights in a row in which I would do my live. It was mentioned that there was some like scratchiness, what they were hearing when I was talking. So I don't know what's up with that. My whole setup is the same that it's been for quite a while when I had no issues at all. So hopefully we're not going to have any of those issues on here. But if it should happen, know that I apologize. I just don't know how um, to stop that from happening. I had enough issues, trying to schedule lives and everything, get it all set up, the right orientation, only to then go live and then YouTube was reverting it into the wrong orientation. So finally, I'm able to do, I can schedule my stuff, but I don't know. I really, when it comes to technology, I'd like to think that, I'm pretty good with it, but then there's always got to be something that, kind of messes it up. And then I just don't know. I just don't know what to do. I don't have no external microphones. I just have the microphone basically that's here on my phone. And so, yeah. So again, I won't know unless I go back and watch it. And typically, I got so much going on that I really don't have a chance to really go back and watch my video. So with that, I just wanted to put that little disclaimer out there. So again, I showed you we're using the Around It All bundle. So the cards that I have created are pretty cute. I think this first one is pretty cute. There are a few things that I did ahead of time to kind of speed up the whole video so that way we're not here for a long time. Um, I'm recording like 3 videos in one night. So like I said, this is Monday evening, the 28th, and I just got done recording my paper pumpkin unboxing, and I actually created all 8 projects in that. So that video went a little bit longer than it normally would. And so now I'm doing my Throwback Thursday, and then I'm also going to be doing my monthly Christmas card inspiration, which will be this coming Friday. So this coming Friday is August 1st already. So that will be posted at 5 a.m. Central Time. And then I got to come up with all the projects for that Friday night when I go live at 7 p.m. And that one, I'm going to be featuring my Friday night lives, my kind of lives. I do feature current products. So I am going to be using a suite that's fairly new in the online exclusives called Painterly Pairs. So hope you can join me for that. Okay, so let me tell you what I have here. So for my card base, I have, this is basic white thick, measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of basic black cardstock. This measures 5.25 by 4. A piece of basic white that measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then out of a scrap piece of basic black, I had stamped the You Make Me Smile in Versamark ink, and then I heat embossed it using the white embossing powder. And then I used one of those dies, kind of found the one that fit this greeting, nicely, not really, really close and tight, but I went ahead and I die cut that ahead of time too. And I just realized that I missed something. Hold on one second here. I want to make sure that I don't forget something that has to go into the description. So I just want to make sure I have this on here. Okay. So I have it on there. Yeah, I create a Word document and then I just take all that info and I copy and paste it over into the description. Okay, so for my card base, I'll fold and burnish this. And this one, we're going to be doing a bit of coloring on this one. So I will set that aside. We'll take the greeting. Actually, I'm going to take the greeting part here and I'm going to add some dimensionals. So on this, this is what I got left of some black dimensionals. Hopefully I kind of should have enough here to put on here. And this is just like all those end pieces. So now I've used the whole sheet. So the black ones are really good when you got like your black cardstock and all that. So that when it's laying on the card, you don't see that white from the dimensionals. You see it's all dark, so so you got to use the black dimensionals, because what happens if there's product that doesn't sell, doesn't get used, then there could be the possibility that Stampin' Up may discontinue it, and we want to keep our black dimensionals, so don't forget those black dimensionals. All right, so I have my piece of basic white. I am going to use this little smiley face right here, and we're going to stamp this a few times on our cards. Let me get my block, and let's make sure that we have him facing the right way. And then I am going to stamp my little smiley face. Hold on, dropping everything here. I'm going to stamp my little smiley face using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Now this is the white ink pad that we sell. It with our white, our craft white ink, the ink pad comes uninked, and it comes with a ink refill of the white. So what I have done, this is not my idea. A lot of other people and demonstrators have been doing this. What they have done is they have taken their Memento Tuxedo Black Reinker, have inked up their whole ink pad, because the Memento pad is a felt pad. And they have found that when you stamp using the foam pad, that it stamps a lot better. Memento, typically, like from the felt pad, you don't get that really deep, dark, black stamped image. Usually you would get that using the StazOn. So by putting it in the foam ink pad, it does stamp a lot better. It's a lot darker. And I just really like doing this in this foam pad rather than using the one that it comes in. Okay, so I am going to stamp my smiley face on here. So I am going to stamp. Don't mind me. Was hearing noises and I'm hoping that that was from upstairs. Okay, so I'm going to stamp like 3 on either side here. So instead of just randomly stamping him all over, I'm going to kind of have them all lined up. So I'll have 3 on the side here, and then we'll have 3 in the middle. Now that embossed piece of basic black is going to go right over the middle, so I mean, I don't have to, but yeah, I did go and stamp it there anyway. And then I'm going to come in between and kind of fill in these areas here. I'm not going to go up in these areas. I'm just going to put them right there. So now there's all those smiley faces. So I'm going to let this, I got to let this dry a little bit before I take the markers to it, because the ink, if it's still wet, it will smear a little bit. So let me put that aside. We'll put this here. And I'll bring out some scrap paper just to put underneath. When you use your alcohol markers on this, it is going to bleed through the back of the cardstock. Let me go and clean this stamp so we don't have no mishaps and we don't end up with ink on anything. Okay, and I'll put that over there. All right, so for the markers, for the most part, I'm using the light shades of these colors. So when you get your Stampin' Blends, when you order them, they come in a combo pack, so light and dark. So on this one, we're not using this one on there. So for this one, the one of the retired colors, this is the light polished pink. Then I have the new light timid tiger. I have dark lemon lolly. Then I have the light shy shamrock, light Tahitian tide, which is that other color that I mentioned that is now retired, and then light highland heather. So I'm going to color these in rainbow order. So I'm going to start with my light polished pink, and I'm going to color this first one here. And again, if you don't have these colors, just substitute with the other colors that you have. So like I said, I was doing the rainbow, so pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then we got pink again. Again, this one is going to be covered up, so really you don't need to stamp or color this one, but I'm going to anyway. So pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So now do another pink one down here. And I'm not doing like any shading or anything like that on this. Now, I'm not using the dark because then I just felt it would be too dark on here. Okay, Timid Tiger, new in color. I really do like the Timid Tiger. It's a bit of a softer orange, a more muted orange, I would say, than the pumpkin pie. But I really do like it. So pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, orange. And because Lemon Lolly is a light yellow, in this instance I did go with the darker shade of it. So we got this one. Okay, and then we have this one up here. Yeah, I'm trying to get things done early, because then that way I don't feel like I'm stressed and, you know, last minute getting, video content done. Uh, Basically, I do at least two videos a week, so the Throwback Thursdays and the Friday Night Lives. And then sometimes you have that monthly Christmas card one that just happens to fall on one of those 2 days. And then, yeah, I was doing At one time, I was doing a special holiday video on the actual holiday. However, I felt that I needed to cut back somewhere because, I do work a regular full-time 40-hour-a-week job. So between that and then having to work this and come up with the projects and everything, it does tend to get to be a bit much. And unfortunately, that means going to bed late, which really shouldn't be constantly doing that because, you do need your rest. And so, yeah, I had to cut back a little bit on what I was doing because when it gets to the point where, you're doing so much and then you get tired, then it's like you kind of get that attitude that you really don't want to do it anymore. However, I just can't quit doing it. I do have a lot of people now that do appreciate the content that I'm putting out there. So that's why I continue to do it. So hopefully, you're liking what it is that I'm doing. Again, if you're new here, I do have a lot of video content out there on my channel. I do have like over, I think it would be over, ooh, this would be, I think, 269 as far as videos go on my channel. Um, so there's lots of inspiration. Like I said, on my Friday, I do have playlists set up. Friday Night Lives are all current stuff. Throwback Thursdays is retired. And then, of course, there's Paper Pumpkin, there's the Christmas. So there's all playlists for that. So if you like the content that I'm putting out, be sure to not only like the video, but also subscribe and then hit the notification bell. And that will let you know when I got pre-recorded videos that I have posted, plus when I go live. And all that kind of stuff between liking, sharing, commenting, all of that, it does help not only in growing the channel, but then it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business as well. All right, so there is my panel. I have taken that and I've put that on that piece of basic black. And then I will take this whole thing and put it on my white card base. So the simple black and white card layout with the pop of all this color on these little smiley faces. So let me try and get this on here straight, like so. And then we got our little greeting. Let's put that on. We're going to put this on in the middle. And so I kind of like these circle dies. They have that whimsical feel to them because they're not just, you know, a straight, edged circle. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to add some embellishments. So I'm going to go with the classic rhinestone basic jewels. These things, they've been around for a while. I like the sparkle of our rhinestones, and they just go with everything. So I got some little like edges from die cutting there. Just wipe those off. And then these rhinestones come in 3 different sizes, so I'm going to use one of each size. And let's see, we got a small one that we will put up there. Okay, so there is the first card. Went together very simply and quickly. So the black and white with the pop of color. So a really fun card that you can really, with the You Make Me Smile, you can really use it for any occasion. So there is our first card. Now our second one. So this one, I did see the layout for this one on Pinterest. I did go kind of like with a different definitely a different color scheme on this one. This one is kind of like your, not kind of like, but it is a graduation card. And so for this one, I decided that I was going to go with the color scheme of my granddaughter's school that she just recently graduated from, well, last month actually. So the school colors are red, black, and white. So that's the color scheme that I am going with. So for my card base, I have Real Red. It measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of basic white that measures 5.25 by 4. I have a piece of basic black. This measures 4 by 1.25. And then I had embossed it using the Pressed Flowers embossing folder. I forget which suite this goes with. I think it goes with the Floral Impressions set, and that is actually one of the suites that I will be using on one of my Friday night lives in the month of August. So I had embossed that across here where I have all of that detail on there. And then there's a little piece of basic white that this measures 3 by 1/2 inch. And then I did the same thing. I embossed it in that embossing folder to kind of give that some texture on it. Then I have a piece of Real Red that measures 4 by 3/4. I have, out of a scrap piece of basic white, I had stamped my cap in Real Red and used one of those around it all dies to die cut that ahead of time. One of the stamps in here is this large congrats. So when you ink it up, you're going to have where you see it's dark here. That's where it's going to have the colored ink, and then whatever color your paper is what's going to show through for the words. So for this congrats, I did use my Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I stamped it, and then I uh, found the die that fits this stamped image, and so that's done. And then I have a piece of this is the marbled Elegance designer series specialty designer series paper. This came out, I want to say it wasn't I don't know if I don't think it was this year. Maybe it was last year. I tell you what, I lose track of time because things that I think happened only yesterday could have had happened like months ago and vice versa. There's always so much product that comes out and then it goes, and it's hard to keep track sometimes. But this is still available. This is not showing that it is on last chance, at least not at the moment, not at the time of me filming this. So this paper has like the Cherry Cobbler, Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade, Real Red, and Gold. And it has that feel of that pour paint technique on it. So it does not come in one of these bags. This is a 13 by 13 Ziploc bag, kind of like what the scrapbook kits would come in, or the workshop, scrapbooking workshop kits. That's what they're called. So I decided to buy some of these bags, and I feel that it's a little bit easier for me to manage my designer series, especially my 12 by 12 designer series paper and all of the scraps. So that's where I got this bag off of Amazon. And then I also got some 7 by 7 to hold my 6 by 6 paper. Okay, so that's all the pieces for my card. So I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay, Okay, and then I'm going to take my, I have my white cardstock here, and I'm going to grab my silicone craft sheet, just so that way I can see it a little bit better up against the white grid paper. Sometimes it's a little hard to see it. I am going to add some adhesive, and I want to be careful as I do this because I don't want to press too hard, because being that this is embossed, it could tear the cardstock, so you want to be careful when you do that. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up about here, so I want to make sure that that's straight. Okay, and I'll press that. And then I'm going to take my piece of real red, and I will take this and I will place this about here and make sure that that's straight. Okay, and then my basic white. Again, I'm going to be careful doing this because this is embossed as well. And then I'm going to place this right over here like so. All right, and then my piece of designer series paper. I just used the 3 different sizes on these dies on this. And then I am going to take this and I'll kind of place this right about here. Okay, and then I'm going to add adhesive to the back of this and put it on my card base before I add those other 2 pieces. All right, move that out of the way, bring that in, and center that on my card base. Okay, and then on my congrats, well actually on my piece that has the cap on it, I'm going to add some seal to that and set that aside. And then I'm going to get some dimensionals to put on the back of my congrats. These papers are stuck a little bit. They don't come off as... Sometimes they come off very, very easy. Sometimes they're a little sticky. All right, so let me bring in my card. I'm going to take... Actually, I should have colored this first, but I can color it afterwards because there is a layer. Now, if this was just a white card base and I was putting this on top of it, then yeah, the alcohol ink could bleed through, and you don't want to see that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to add this right over here, and then my congrats is going to go right here. Okay, and then to color in the cap, I'm going to bring in the light Real Red Stampin' Blend and color this in. Again, if this was right on the card base, this would end up bleeding through, but because I have some layers here, it won't go through inside the card. So I'm just going to quickly color that in. I'm not going to worry about doing any blending with light and dark. And then I'm going to get my Wink of Stella, And I'm going to add a little bit onto this cap. Now I know that the Wink of Stella hitting that red ink is going to kind of smear it a little bit, so I want to be careful as I'm doing this that I don't get that red all over the place. And we'll add a little bit to the tassel here. Okay, so there is that. So we got one more bit of embellishment, so we're going to bring the rhinestones in again. And I'll get my take your pick tool again. There's 3 different sizes on this, so I am going to use all 3 of them. So we'll add, let's see, we'll add that one there, one down here, and then a little small one. They do give you a lot of the small ones. And I'll put, whoops, where'd it go? Stuck to my finger. Am I in the screen? Probably not. I apologize for that. Okay, so there we go. There is our second card. So definitely a lot quicker than my paper pumpkin video. So let me bring in the first card that we did. So here is my smiley face. I really think this smiley face is really cute. And we just did that black and white with a pop of color. And again, this was embossed using the Versamark and the white embossing pattern. And I did that first, and then I had die cut it. And then there is the graduation card, and I based the color scheme on this to my granddaughter's school colors. So what day are you seeing this? So you're seeing this on Thursday the 31st. So this will be posted fairly early. It will be posted on this channel at 5 a.m. Central Time. So you may watch and may end up seeing this throughout the day. I do want to let you know that the evening, so it'll be the 31st, that this is being posted. So one of the things that's happening, Stampin' Up is coming out with a new holiday mini catalog. And one of the things that they do offer demonstrators is that they do a bulk mailing. So I can choose my customers, and I can then pay to have Stampin' Up mailed directly to you the catalog. The cost for postage and for shipping, it's unfortunately gone up. So it is a lot cheaper for me to go that route and have Stampin' Up send them out. Now, if it is after the 31st, I am going to order catalogs. So if it's after July 31st and you want one of them, I have no problem in mailing it out. But if I can save a little bit on the upfront, if you are here in the US, if you are not, I do stress, if you're not working with another demonstrator, because if you are ordering from another demonstrator, then you really should be requesting the catalog from them. In the description, there is my email. You can reach out to me to request not only the holiday mini, but even the annual catalog if you don't have that one and would like that one. If you if you're going to do requesting one before the end of the 31st, it'll probably be maybe about 9 or 10 o'clock at night. The thing is, with this catalog mailing program, uh, there's only one shot that we have at it. So basically, choose our customers we want a catalog to send to, and then pay for it, and then that's it. We can't go back in and we can't add more people or anything. So I typically wait until almost like the last moment to place my order for that. So if you could, out on the Stampin' Up website, if you can create a profile, choosing me as your demonstrator. Most importantly, there are two different opt-ins. So there is an opt-in if you were to place an order, so that way you can receive Stampin' Rewards. You definitely want to receive those. And there's another one for contact. If you do not opt in for the contact, unfortunately, I won't be able to have them send a catalog to you. So again, I get and I understand people may not want to opt in because they don't want to be bombarded with a lot of emails and all that. I will let you know that usually when I send out like a newsletter, I don't even do it through the Stampin' Up website. I actually have a newsletter that I do that typically goes out the first Tuesday of every month. I'll let you know what my video content's going to be for that month, what the new kits are going to be, what the Stampin', not the stamp, but the paper pumpkin kit, what that's going to be. Any events or anything that Stamp or promotions that Stampin' Up has going on, I'll include that at the time that I am doing that newsletter. And then anything that I may be doing, I'll have in there too. Now, the only time that I will send out more than one newsletter, like for example, this month in July, I actually had three that I sent out. There was the one at the beginning of the month, but then Stampin' Up had the two-tone cardstock sale that we didn't know about ahead of time, and then they did free shipping. So those were the only instances where something new was announced, and so I wanted to make sure that I let everybody know. So that's how I send my newsletters, and if you would like to be on my newsletter list, I do have a link for it in the description. Um, when you click on that link, there'll be a box that'll pop up. Just add your name and your email address, and then you're on my list. And I will be sending out my next newsletter on the first Tuesday of August, so whatever day that is. Maybe that's the 4th, maybe it's the 5th. I'm not 100% sure, but so if you would like to receive that, the link again is in the description. Other than that, I will mention again that the Around It All bundle, that this is still available. It is on the last chance list. If this is a bundle that you would like to get, you didn't get a chance to get it yet, um, there's the item number for the 10% bundled savings, and then there's the individual. So in the description, the list of supplies that I have listed, I did not put the bundle just the bundle in there. I did do it separately with the dies and the stamp set. So if you actually click on that link, then you'll be getting them individually, and you'll also be getting that discounted price on this as well. And basically, what was it? Everything really that I had used is still current, still available. The only two things that are retired are the Tahitian Tide and the polished pink Stampin' blends. These are our alcohol markers. So if you don't have those colors, just substitute it with something else that you may have. So with that, everyone, thank you so much for stopping by and watching my Throwback Thursday video. Again, I will be going live tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I'll be featuring a fairly new online exclusive suite called Painterly Pairs. Very pretty paper, well, pretty everything on it. So hope that you can join me for that. And until then, everybody stay cool if you're someplace where it's really hot like here, and stay safe if you're dealing with some bad, severe weather as well. Until then, everyone have a blessed one. See you later. Bye bye.